What's up, everybody? Richard back this week with another episode of the Warped Report. And this week, listen, I think the news overall is probably less in terms of how many stories there are, but there are some very interesting things to discuss. And at the back end of the show today, I wanted to also talk about, we're on the Out of Line YouTube channel. I want to talk about Consumer's new record, Obsession. I just listened to it actually over on my Twitch stream. And I have some thoughts on it that I want to share with everybody. But with that, let's just dive into the news here. I wanted to lead it off with this. This was absolutely insane, okay? So What Music Festival. They have announced their 2022 lineup. And by the way, I want to mention, too, that this festival is going to be happening at a stadium where the Texas Rangers of the Major League Baseball, where they used to play. And, it just says it right here. Lamb Goat. You got bands like Wage War. You have Lil Skies, 𝗪𝗏, Puya, State Champs, Hail the Sun, Rebecca Black, Kublai Khan, Hawthorne Heights, Big Crit, Oxymorons. Look at this. We'll just pull it up here from Twitter. I mean, just look at how absurd this lineup is. We got, look at the headliners. We got I Prevail, Wage War. On the same day as, Trippie Redd, Snot, Rebecca Black, and then you have Knocked Loose, Parkway Drive, Ghost Inside. The list just goes on and on. We got my boys on Left to Suffer, I believe, on Saturday. Victims are there. Veil of Maya. The list just goes on and on and on. It's at Choctaw Stadium in Arlington, Texas. It's just an absolutely stacked lineup. There's 3-day passes available. But it's going to be happening from March 27th, 2022, of course, to May 29th, 2022. I wonder what the prices of those are. Let me pull that up real quick because I'm actually very interested to see what the pricing on those are. I'm sure it's expensive, but I just kind of want to check to see. I think this is kind of fun as we look here. Okay, so 3-day general admission, $269, and then $34. I hate service fees, man. I hate it. But you got a 4-pack, so that's 4 tickets. Yeah, okay. So each day is about $100, or you can get them, with it looks like a 10% discount if you buy all 3. It's pretty expensive, but you just look at this line. It's just absolutely ridiculous what this lineup has for us. So, that is definitely a festival that if I was closer to Texas, I would go to. But I want to talk about this. This is a story that is very sucks. We'll put it that way. So there was supposed to be a tour with Census Fail, We Came as Romans, Counterparts, and See You Space Cowboy. But it apparently, and again, allegedly, I just want to put that out there, allegedly has been canceled because of Census Fail. They're jumping ship, as Lamb Goat puts here, to jump on a different tour. And again, I want to say allegedly because, again, like Lamb Goat states, there's been no official announcement, but 2 members from Counterparts, Kyle Brownlee, drummer, he's stated here, Happy Friday, just found out our first tour in 2 years got pulled because a band wanted to do a different tour a month before it starts. And then, of course, Brendan, the vocalist, says, look, I know I call you guys dumb A diaper babies every day, but I wouldn't make S up out of thin air. This S effing sucks, and I'm sorry. So that's definitely a huge bummer. This is reminiscent of what happened with Census Fail and Bad Omens. I know a lot of people were kind of speculating that Bad Omens was mad because their name was too small on the flyer, but it turns out it was actually something to do with Census Fail, I believe. So it seems like Census Fail is just kind of effing things up for everybody, and that's really tragic to see. I hope that Counterparts gets back on the road sooner rather than later because, like they mentioned, 2 years. Korn, and this is actually kind of, bias, because I did enjoy the record, but Korn fails to chart in the top 10 for the first time in the band since the band's 1994 debut. They still charted very highly. They charted number 14 on the Billboard 200, selling nearly 20,000 copies, 14,000 of which were physical. It's Korn, though, so you expect very high placements for them. Especially in the Billboard 200, but, number 14 is still solid, 9 tracks on that record. I really enjoyed it overall. I think that they really did a nice job of balancing kind of, kind of the direction that they've been going in, but also that old direction for Korn as well. Fearless Records have signed the band Archetypes Collide. Now, I remember reacting to this band years ago, man. When I remember looking at their Spotify, and they had like 2,000 monthly listeners, and this was a fantastic song. It's very serious XM Octane like, right? Like there's nothing like totally crazy about it, but it's very catchy. And the title of the track is called Undertow, and they have like an effect on the vocal that's super catchy. I highly recommend checking that out. Newfound Glory, 4 Year Strong, and Be Well have announced a tour. 4 Year Strong is a band that I've always really had a soft spot for. You know, that easy core style. I just love it. But they're going to be going on tour from May the 26th until August 9th. That is a massive tour. It looks like they kind of have like a gap here in between. Otherwise, that would be a massive tour. Vayne.fm premiere new track, Wavery. This was an interesting track. Very, grungy. Kind of had like some Deftones in there. A little bit of like Nirvana. Somebody pointed out in my Twitch chat. Very different song than their first track, The Killing Womb. They've kind of had some different sounds here, but they are going to be putting out a record here. The World Is Going to Ruin You, March 4th. So be sure to check them out. Very interesting sound that they're going with this next record. But then Inclination, who has Isaac from Knocked Loose. It's funny. I listened to this, one of their tracks on Twitch, and I was not aware that Isaac from Knocked Loose was in the band. And I was like, wait, that looks like the guy from Knocked Loose. And sure enough, it was their track Thoughts and Prayers, but they've also released another track as well called A Decision, and they're out now via Pure Noise Records. So you want to check them out. I love this stuff, man. If you're a fan of Knocked Loose or hardcore in general, you'll be into that sound for sure. Bad Omens, they put out a new track called The Gray as they get ready for their February 25th release of their record, The Death of Peace of Mind. This is definitely a lot more chill than like Artificial Suicide or something like that, but definitely kind of a more mood song for me, but I still really liked it. I mean, Sebastian, Noah Sebastian, I believe is his name, actually, my bad. He has a great voice. And it's definitely a more chill song, but so if you want something that's a little bit more chill, kind of like, not as aggressive as Artificial Suicide, I highly recommend checking that out. Body Snatcher, they've announced a new album, and they put out a new track. The name of their album is going to be Bleed Abide. It's going to be coming out on April 22nd via MNRK Heavy. And the track that they put out, I believe, what was it called? Yeah, EDA. It was definitely kind of, right up the Body Snatcher alley. Very heavy. And in the Body Snatcher, they have a sound, man, and they stick to it, and it's great. I put it on my playlist, the Core 100. It's very hardcore. It's heavy. Their vocalist, Kyle Medina, I believe is his name, is fantastic, and I highly recommend checking that out. And lastly, Caliban, who, I'm kind of like a little bit, I like them. They're not really like a favorite band of mine, but they've been putting out some really solid music as of late. And they did put out the title track for their record, Dystopia, and that record's going to be coming out April 22nd through Century Media Records, and it features Chris 𝗧𝗛𝗪. I those last names with the CZs always mess me up, so I apologize if I got that wrong. He's in the band Anna's Okay. And this was a cool track. I definitely kind of prefer some of their other tracks that they've released from this album, but this was still nonetheless super solid. But now I did want to quickly touch on the Consumer record as we wrap up here. Those boys are heavy. And I mean, listen, I know they're German, so all the songs were, obviously in German. I don't understand the lyrics, of course, but just the pure sonic nature of that band is massive. I love all the different effects that they put into their music, including you got some violins, you got the 808s, you got the symphonic blast beats. So lots of cool panning going on. My favorite track is definitely 𝗧𝗛𝗪 Justice. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but that's definitely my favorite track. That track is from beginning to end, 225 of just pure downright aggression. So you've got to check them out. I know you're on the Out of Line YouTube channel, but just in case you haven't made your way over to listen to that record, you have got to listen to it. I highly recommend it. Like right now, it's currently my album of the year, narrowly beating out Enterprise Earth. I absolutely loved it, man. It's right up my alley, super heavy. So if you're into that, go check that out. But with that, everybody, that does it for this week's episode of The Warped Report. Make sure to tune in next week as we continue on delivering all the news from around the Warped Tour scene. My name is Richard. This is the Out of Line YouTube channel. We'll see you next week. Peace. Peace.